Cyrus37, and honestly, it's been so long since I've shown my face in video, it feels weird. But I do still have a face, for those of you wondering. I used to show that a lot in videos, but that just, I don't know, it was weird, because I used to have a completely different reviewing format. Like, I would hold the thing and review it, and then I was like, I don't like doing that. And I did that for like 3 years, but anyways, we're not talking about old formats. What I did want to talk about, though, is, basically, I'm kind of starting up a new series on my channel here, and I'm really excited about it. Basically, just to give you some context, I've always been a big fan of Ant-Man and Giant-Man, Hank Pym, Scott Lang. I've always loved those characters ever since I was a kid. I thought Ant-Man had one of the cooler powers in the comics, that he could shrink and grow, and just it had a lot of like infinite potential, like especially during the Future Foundation run where Scott Lang fights Doctor Doom. I always thought that was really fun. But fun fact, for those of you not around then, but Ant-Man wasn't that popular until the movie came out. Like, now he's pretty popular, but back then it was really hard to find merchandise, or just really even to like, you know, find people who actually like the character too. And I'm really glad that the character's blown up. I'm really glad that it has a lot of fans now. I know some people find that kind of stuff annoying, but I don't think that's annoying. I think that's really cool that more people are getting a wider action to see that character. And I think part of why Ant-Man was never that popular is Marvel's own fault. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Hank Pym and Eric O'Grady. I mean, even Scott Lang himself used to kind of be a criminal, so like none of the Ant-Men were really the best role models, but they were still pretty cool. Some of them, you know, some more than others. But as a kid, I never really looked into how like depth some of that stuff was. I just kind of looked at it as more like, oh, Ant-Man's kind of cool because I liked his powers and stuff like that. And you know, Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes was my introduction to Hank Pym and to really Ant-Man as a whole. And then I started reading the Marvel Masterworks and the Marvel Essentials, and I just loved it. And I definitely prefer the more classic Hank Pym, like I would say where he debuted in the 60s, where he was actually more of a traditional superhero than to what his character kind of ended up becoming. But enough about that. But anyways, I always like the characters. And like I said, merchandise was kind of hard to find. But they did make a Toy Biz Giant Man and made a Toy Biz Ant-Man. And that Toy Biz Ant-Man was really sought after for a really long time by a lot of people because it was the only classic Ant-Man out there, whether you liked Hank or Scott. It was just really the only one you could find. And thankfully, Hasbro did finally give us a classic Ant-Man, so that's pretty cool, and I do have that one in my collection, and there's a new one coming out this year, but basically, that was a big one for a long time, that classic Scott Lang, but by the time I had kind of seen all of these, like the Giant Man Build-A-Figure and everything, these things had been like at least 5 to 6 years old. I believe the Giant Man Wave is like 17 years old this year, so it's just always been something that I thought was, hey, that's really cool, but I'm not ever going to buy it because it's going to be impossible to find, right? And I could try to buy it on eBay, but the thing about that is I don't really want to do that because, one, it's going to cost a lot of money, and two, it's just kind of been sitting on someone's shelves for years, and sometimes, like, with things like Build-A-Figures, and even, this isn't just Build-A-Figures, this is action figures in general, like, I even have Rescue Heroes that are doing this, and I never thought Rescue Heroes could do this, but the weight of the figure becomes so much that it actually kind of bows the plastic out on some of their legs, so sometimes displaying them is not good, and like I said, this happened to me with Rescue Heroes, and, like, if you don't know what Rescue Heroes, it's like basically a giant chunk of plastic, and I just genuinely wouldn't think something like that would happen. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of wary about picking one up on eBay, and then also too, because like I said, it's like super expensive to try to put the thing together and like find it complete. So even though I've always thought it was really cool, it's just something I put in the back of my head, right? Well, the other day, I went to a comic book store, and I found new in box, straight from 2006, the head to Giant Man. Kitty Pryde's in there too, and I could care less about her. I mean, she's great in the comics, but Toy Biz wasn't really known for making the female figures that good, and honestly, like I said, I just wanted this for Giant Man, and he looks really cool, and I got this at a really good price too. And there's a bunch of characters in this wave. As you can see, he was 13 inches tall, but I just thought this was so cool, and I kind of picked it up as more of a novelty than anything, because it's like, wow, that is so cool, and he's so massive too. I just love that. Well, I went and looked online because like maybe there's like a few I could find in box, because I'm like, if I found that one in box, maybe I could find another one, and I found Sentry for like 20 bucks on eBay, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Well, then I go back to that same comic book store a couple days later, and I find the lower torso to Giant Man. And I went back today, and I find the leg to Giant Man. And I'm really excited about this because, like I said, you know, not is just finding his head in box incredibly rare, but the fact that I found his leg, his torso, also at that same place is just really cool to me, and I'm definitely going to start going there more often. But again, you gotta remember, these are 17 years old, and to find them new in box is just exciting me. And I really want to start a series on this channel where I review them, the older Toy Biz Legends. And I have a little bit of a new camera. I don't know if you've noticed, it's a little bit better. So I'm gonna use this to do it. And like I said, it's gonna be a series. It might take me a year, and honestly, it might even take me 5 years to complete this thing. But I think it'd be really fun to do a series of just like in-depth looks at them, you know, because these have been in box since like 2006. And I could care less about the value. The value is about to be destroyed. I will rip these open. I will take these out of the box, play with them. I am not an inbox collector. I don't hate anyone who is. I understand why some people are. And if somebody wasn't an inbox collector, I wouldn't have these right now. So I'm thankful that there are inbox collectors. I am just not one. But like I said, it's got me really excited, and it's a series that I'm wanting to do. Like I said, I don't even know if I'll complete it, but in a couple weeks you'll probably see me review some of these. And I just think it's really fun because, like I said, these were things I saw as a kid, but never really kind of got too into them because I just didn't really know that much about superheroes back then. But to see the Toy Biz packaging in today's world, and like I said, from 2006, new in box, and like the one thing I've kind of been wanting for years, like that's just incredible to me. And this is like definitely something on my list of things that I would like to have like in my collection. This is probably one of the top 10 like most sought after things, so I'm really happy about it. And you know, there's talk that we might even be getting a HasLab Giantman this year, and that would be really cool. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm actually more excited just to complete this thing than I am for the HasLab announcement, because HasLabs are always so weird. And whether it happens or not, I mean, Giantman's the kind of character, it doesn't matter how many you have, or same with Ant-Man, because you don't always make them look like they're shrinking and growing, and I'm totally going to do that when I complete that. I'm going to put them all together and make them look like that. That's going to be cool. But yeah, so like I said, and I don't know if I'll really review more of it because I've never been as into Toy Biz as some people is. I know a lot of people really love it. They hold it to a high regard, and I feel like they're a lot like the McFarlane, if you could say, of like Marvel stuff. And you know, they're basically responsible for why we have Marvel Legends today. They're basically responsible for why we have premium action figures. They created the Build-A-Figure concept. A lot, if I'm not mistaken, they created the concept. A lot of what we actually have in collecting today came from Toy Biz, and you know, they do deserve a lot of respect. And again, like I said, I'm not super excited about the Kitty Pryde or like even some of the figures in this wave. I think some of them are a little kind of iffy by today's standards, but for the time you can see they were really good. And I definitely think just looking at that head of Giantman, it holds up. And like I said, I'm really excited about this. And like I said, it's gonna be a journey. Like, I mean, I might not even complete this year. I don't know why, but I got Christmas tree up. I might not complete this year. I might not even complete this next year, but I just think it's a fun little series. And let me know if you guys think I should start doing series like this where I try to hunt down older collector's items or stuff. And yeah, I open them, but I'm really excited about it. And thank you for watching. Please rate, like, and subscribe.